Good evening, everyone. We hope that you enjoyed dinner catered by Bella Milano. I also, on your table, we don't have a lot of debates on the evening in terms of the program, how we do the videos, but this year our largest debate of the evening was what we were going to have for desserts and whether we should have the cream horns or the fudgies or both. And the concern about the cream horn was the powdered sugar, and if you inhale that or get it on your attire. But if you're from Collinsville and you've been raised here or you're familiar with cruda, you know that's 100% acceptable, so no one in the room will worry about that. Well, good evening. I'm Superintendent Brad Skirtich, and it's a privilege to be here. And want to welcome you to what promises to be a very exciting evening. And on behalf of the Board of Education and our entire school district, thank you for joining us for this evening's ceremony. We are thrilled to welcome another outstanding group of alumni, community members, and former staff into the Collinsville Hall of Fame. The purple flowers that you see off to my left are displayed on the stage to serve as a tribute for those who are unable to be with us this evening. And before we proceed, I'd ask everyone to bow their heads in a moment of silence for our Hall of Fame members that are not able to be here, that have passed, whether they're or inductees, family members, friends, or just simply not able to be here for health purposes. So please bow your heads in a moment of silence. Thank you. Our district is incredibly fortunate to receive strong support from our communities, businesses, and our families. This unwavering commitment helps our students, past and present, succeed, and that's going to be evident in tonight's inductees in the classroom and thrive in extracurricular activities. Together, we are shaping well-rounded individuals who are prepared to navigate the challenges of adulthood, value service for others, and pursue lifelong success. And before we begin, I want to recognize a few people that play a major role in making this happen each year. And I jokingly said earlier, this is our 4th year of planning a wedding, and it really does feel like that. But it's also why it's important that once you say those vows, stay there, because doing this every year is a lot of work. But I want to compliment Mark Alvers for creating our videos. He does an outstanding job. The Kim Collins up here in the front, who handles our media, press releases, and helps with our narratives. Jan Harmon does a phenomenal job with our programs, so those are in front of you. As well as Susan Freckman, who does countless things behind the scenes to make tonight go. So thank you for giving them a round of applause. But I would also be remiss if I did not compliment our Hall of Fame committee. They do a lot of work throughout the year. So as soon as we end tonight, we will begin in March planning for next year. They put a lot of time and effort into it. And I think the greatest compliment that I could give them is they hear from people about the successful choices they've made, and they also hear from people that say, hey, you forgot about this person or that person. So that means it means something to others throughout, not only here tonight, but in the community. So thank you to our Hall of Fame committee for all they do. Tonight, we are proudly going to welcome 8 individuals and 1 team into the Hall of Fame, and we're honored to recognize these outstanding alumni, community members, and staff, sharing the rich legacy of our school district. And our goal is to inspire current students by highlighting the achievements of those who have walked our halls before them. Tonight, we honor our past, celebrate our present, and demonstrate to our students what is possible both now and in the future. So looking forward to an exciting night. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Mr. Clay Smith, our athletic director, to the stage. He graduated in 1995, so for the high school students, that feels like a long time ago. But Clay is one of the most passionate and dedicated educators in our district. We are fortunate to experience his energy and enthusiasm every day. His commitment to our school is unwavering, and we appreciate his hard work and dedication throughout the year, but also for making this night possible. He truly bleeds purple. Please welcome Clay to the stage.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you to Dr. Skirtich. I want to thank our Board of Education, our community, and to everyone here tonight in support of the Kahok Hall of Fame. This night does not get old, and it's one that I look forward to every single year. One where we can come together to celebrate excellence legacy, and the people who have helped shape the proud tradition of Collinsville Unit 10. As I look around this room, I see a community filled with talent, dedication, and opportunity. Each of you, whether you're an educator, part of a family, a coach, proud alumni, or just a Kahok supporter, plays a role in building an environment where greatness is not accidental, but is expected. The stories we celebrate tonight serve as powerful reminders that when we believe in ourselves, embrace challenges, and stay true to our purpose, incredible things can happen. I take great pride in my work at Collinsville High School and in helping preserve the traditions that have been passed down through generations. It is so important to me that our students, grades K through 12, hear these stories and understand the legacy that they are going to become a part of. We want all of these students to dream one day about wearing the purple and white, walking our hallways in our schools, and contributing to the Kahok culture that makes this community so special. Tonight, we are fortunate to have current CHS students helping with and attending the event. Many of them are sitting in the back corner in the excellent seats, and others are scattered throughout the 91 soccer team. Kahoks, I want to remind you that this celebration is for you too. Let it serve as a reminder that your dreams matter, your work matters. Let the story shared tonight inspire you to push a little bit further. Get 1% better every day you go to school, and believe in the impact that you can make both in and out of the halls of Collinsville High School. Let's give our Kahok students a round of applause. I'd like to close by sharing something that I do every year before each Hall of Fame. If you're not aware, every Hall of Fame ceremony prior to this year is on YouTube if you go search it. I like to go back and watch the previous year's induction speeches. I did that again this year, and one common theme continued to stand out to me: how much of an impact our teachers and coaches had on our inductees. Time and time again, they spoke about lessons in toughness, character, and accountability. Lessons that helped shape not only who they were as athletes and students, but who they are today. While all the inductees had great things to say, the statement of the night came in the closing remarks from our very own and my very good friend, Mr. Mark Shusky. Mark summed it up perfectly when he said, "I love this town, I love this school, what a phenomenal place to be from." That statement captures the heart of this evening. The success we celebrate tonight is rooted in relationships and a community that believes in its people, and I'm so proud to be a small part of it. Congratulations again to all of our inductees and their families. Thank you for being here tonight to support our inductees and support the Kahok Hall of Fame. And please remember, no matter where you call home, wear your purple with pride and go Kahawks.
Thank you, Clay. And before we begin recognizing the inductees of this evening, I'd like to ask all of the members of the Hall of Fame of the classes of 2023, 2024, and 2025 to please stand, whether individuals or teams that are in the audience tonight. Now, please join me in welcoming Mr. Mark Shusky, CHS Class of 91, along with Alex Dow, CHS Class of 2006, who will serve as co-hosts for this evening's ceremony. Mark is an excellent teacher and widely known as the voice of Collinsville with a great sense of humor, and Alex's love of this community and school district are second to none. Please welcome them both and their assistant for the evening, Ms. Lane Smith, and I hope you enjoy their passion and quick wit throughout the evening. Thank you.
I don't know what they did giving me a microphone. I think my family might have paid somebody. It's really an honor to be here, so thank you for letting me play a part in tonight's events. I grew up hearing about the legendary stories of Kahok basketball, and some of my earliest memories are going to the Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium to watch the Kahawks pack the place. This town gave me a lot of role models, people to look up to. For the last 3 years, this ceremony has been an absolute joy to watch and has become one of my favorite nights of the year, my family's too. Seeing the accomplishments of Kahok athletes and distinguished alumni has truly been an inspiration. This town continues to give me more and more role models. I'm standing up here with someone who is a role model to me during my days at CHS, someone who is still a role model to me, but also a really good friend. Folks, please help me welcome the real host of the night, someone that didn't need to pay to be here, the voice of Collinsville, Mr. Mark Shusky.
All right, thank you, Alex, for your kind remarks. I need these this year. I'm thrilled to be able to host tonight's ceremony with you. Thanks also, of course, to Mr. Clay Smith and Dr. Brad Skirtich for their wonderful comments. And it is because of them, their dedication, their vision, their hard work, their passion, that this night exists. Years ago, I think it was a dream of Clay's, and when Dr. Skirtich came around, and people had set the groundwork before, certainly, but really those two deserve all of the credit for beginning the process that makes tonight happen. So I'd really like all of us to give both Brad and Clay a round of applause. Thank you for making tonight happen. And then, of course, to Alex, thank you for co-hosting this year. He is a former student of mine. He is an outstanding example of what it means to be a Kahok. He excelled academically and athletically while at CHS, and he continues to do so. At least that's what I hear from the pickleball court. And if you doubt his passion for Collinsville, make sure you check out his license plates as well. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll bring excellence to his role as an MC this evening, and it is also comforting for me to know that I'll have some help up here tonight. I'm also excited to be up here with Lane Smith. Thank you for your help, Lane. Without further ado, let's get tonight's Hall of Fame induction ceremonies underway. Each year I stand here humbled by the inductees. Their accomplishments speak for themselves, and I know you share in my awe and appreciation for each and every one of them. It seems that each year the benchmark is met every single time by the quality of the people we are inducting, and it is absolutely an honor and a privilege to be able to stand up here with these people. Tonight, after Alex or I introduce each inductee and call them to the stage, we'll show a video highlighting their accomplishments. Mr. Mark Alvers is the mastermind behind these moving tributes. Mark, I know Brad already mentioned, but please know how much we all appreciate your time and efforts to make tonight so meaningful. And I want to echo Clay's comments. I think it is such a treasure that those videos and the speeches are available online. If you haven't, please go search for them and watch the old ones and watch tonight again. They're amazing. As Clay mentioned, we have a talented group of CHS students here tonight to help our inductees to the stage. I want to thank them myself, and I also know that they will learn a great deal about just what it means to be a Kahok. Once the inductee is on stage, after you give your speech, we'll give you your award for the evening, presented by Lane, and then your CHS helper, your student, will help you back to your table. So with that, let's get started with our first inductee of the evening. It is my honor to introduce the distinguished inductee, Mrs. Lois Welch Metzger.
Lois Welch Metzger is a 1955 graduate of Collinsville High School. A lifelong Collinsville resident, Lois's life is devoted to preserving her community's history for future generations to appreciate. Lois Welch was born in 1937 to Matthew and Elizabeth Adams Welch. Her father was a well-known attorney and leader in many local civic endeavors and fraternal organizations. Growing up, Lois and her two brothers were instilled with a commitment to public service. Lois attended Southern Illinois University Carbondale, where she earned a bachelor's degree in education in 1959. She returned to Collinsville and taught kindergarten and first grade at Webster School from 1959 to 1964. She later served as a substitute teacher in Collinsville Unit 10 for 13 years. In the true spirit of her time as a CHS cheerleader, Lois amasses support for the Kahoks and the entire community. A reoccurring theme in her volunteerism is sharing her vast knowledge of Collinsville and the surrounding area with others. Lois serves on the Collinsville Historic Preservation Commission, where she helped oversee restoration of the D.D. Collins House and continued to volunteer as a docent.
D.D. Collins has been part of my life, I think, for the last 30 years, and we've done a lot of research into D.D. Collins, trying to find out a little bit about him.
I think probably most communities have a person they identify as the city historian or the wealth of knowledge who knows people and their histories and the families. I think it's important that we tap into that knowledge as much as we can. And fortunately, Lois has been very cooperative in sharing whatever information she has. If she doesn't know an answer, she'll do research.
She has presented local programs on the D.D. Collins House, Bloom Cowbells, interesting women in Collinsville history, and famous relatives of Elizabeth Collins. As a member of Collinsville Progress, Lois chaired the committee that researched and presented plaques to over 70 sites and structures. Mrs. Metzger is a member of the Cahokia Mound chapter of the National Society of Daughters of the American Revolution. She has presented historical programs on Lafayette and the history of Cahokia Mounds. Lois has volunteered with the Friends of the Collinsville Historical Museum, Festival of Trees, Teepee Adult Board, Collinsville YMCA Board, Bloom House Committee, and Summit School PTA, often working with her husband, Bill. As a member of the Collinsville Junior Service Club, Mrs. Metzger was awarded a lifetime active membership in 1993 and was recognized in 2010 for 50 years of active membership. She has worked tirelessly to raise funds for student scholarships, food baskets, senior citizen projects, and many other worthy causes.
She loves the people, and she is a workhorse. You know, she takes on so many projects. She takes on a project and she finishes it. She just worked on her 70th class reunion, and she, oh my gosh, she made hundreds of phone calls to get everybody there, everybody involved, but she doesn't ever want the credit for what she has done, and she does a lot. People don't realize how much she does. There's a whole group of us. We didn't have a mother, we didn't have a grandmother, and that's Lois for us.
To recognize her for a life of dedication and service, in 2006, Lois was awarded the Studs Terkel Humanities Award by the Illinois Humanities Council. She received the Collinsville Chamber of Commerce Spirit of Excellence Award in 2014 and was the Collinsville High School Alumni Achievement Award honoree in 2015. In August 2025, Lois was recognized by the City of Collinsville for 27 years of service to the Historic Preservation Commission.
If you need to know anything about Collinsville, you should ask Lois.
Please welcome to the stage Mrs. Lois Welch Metzger. All right, I don't want to take any of your thunder away, Lois, but I know that you went out special for your cover for our walker here, right? And then Lois was concerned she was too short for the podium, and I said I could lift her up, but she said no, she was just going to stand here, so. All right, microphone, I'm holding, speech.
See if I can read. See if I, whatever. Thank you. I got my purple walker cover so as not to be out-purpled by Clay Smith. And of course, I'll wear purple on Fridays and think of Brad Skirtage. I am so very honored to be named to the Collinsville Unit 10 Hall of Fame and join my dad in receiving this special honor. As a volunteer, you don't work alone. It takes working together. I had the support of my family. My daughters, Ellen Birch and Susan Peters, are here with me tonight, as is my brother, Paul Welch. My husband, Bill, my son, Bill, and my brother, Tom, are with me in spirit. Others here in my support group tonight are my sisters-in-law, sons-in-law, relatives, and friends. I am blessed with them in my life. Some of my CHS classmates are here too. We celebrated our 70th class reunion last October. 55 best alive. That was our motto always. I have been told that I have to keep my remarks to 3 minutes. but as many of you know, I am full of stories, so I'll do my best to keep this short. Collinsville has always been my home. Jefferson School, yay! They didn't have a nickname then. Webster School for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and Collinsville High School, the old school out on Vandalia Street. I've been going to Kahok basketball games since 1947, or at least that far back. I don't remember, but I was probably there before that. That 47 is when Virgil Fletcher came. My husband, Bill, was already a member of Rotary Club when we married in 1959. And with the encouragement of my lifelong friend, Bobby Price, I joined Junior Service Club in 1960. When our children were small, I would go to Junior Service Club when Bill got home from Rotary meetings. The children and I helped with arms sales, and Bill helped at the Junior Service carnivals. Once, Bill came home from a meeting, and he told me that I'd been imparted to its board. It might have been the TP Adult Board, the YMCA Board, or the Bloom House. I'm not sure which. One time, Bill boosted me out the window at the Bloom House to hang Christmas lights from the porch. Lots of years and lots of projects. Bobby Price got me involved once more when she asked me to serve on a committee to recognize historic landmarks. We would use a list made by Irving Dilliard as a guide, and it would take just a few meetings. This became the Collinsville Progress Historic Landmark Awards. 12 years and over 70 sites recognized. This was followed by my being named to the Historic Preservation Commission 27 years ago. Bill once jokingly said I should get a room at the library because I spent so much time there doing research. While serving on the HPC, I was honored to serve with Lou Stamen. She set the bar high for volunteering. When Irving Dilliard gave the Collins House to the city, the commission was given the job of its restoration. This is a special house. If you haven't paid it a visit, you must do so. While I have this great audience, I want to take this opportunity to remind you of the CHS Band Spaghetti Dinner on February 28th. It's good. I also want to encourage you to get a table for the CMC Rotary Trivia Night on Friday, March the 20th. Proceeds will go to the Bill Metzger Scholarship Fund. This scholarship honors my son. I also remember the Collinsville Area Community Foundation. What great things this group has done and is still doing. Again, my sincere thanks for this honor. And remember, once a Kahok, always a Kahok.
Thank you, Lois. Thank you, Lois, doing her things her own way. I encouraged her to go back down the ramp, and she said, no, Ben's here to get me. And Ben said, no, I'm here to turn you around. And she said, no, I'm coming down. She did it. Congratulations, Lois. So impressive. Okay, our next inductee of the evening are athletic inductees. It is the 1991 Collinsville High School soccer team.
After a heartbreaking 1-0 loss to eventual state champion Granite City in the 1990 Super Sectional, a determined Kahok soccer squad entered the 1991 season with unfinished business and a clear goal: bring the state title back to Collinsville. The season began with a narrow 1-0 defeat to CBC, but from that point forward, the Kahoks found their rhythm. They would not lose another match until the regular season finale against Hazelwood Central. Mid-season, the Kahoks would journey to Rockford, Illinois for the Rockton tournament, where they would play 5 games against some of the best teams in the Chicago area. They won all 5 games and did not allow a single goal.
One thing that I think played a big part in our win was an early season tournament that we traveled to Chicago area so we could play some of those teams, and we dominated the tournament. I mean, that's just how strong our team was.
To go up there and play the way we did and just dominate. I mean, I think it was 18-0. We, outscored teams in 5 games, didn't give up a goal. That just showed the strength of our team.
In postseason play, Collinsville rolled through Westland, Triad, and O'Fallon to earn a long-awaited rematch with Granite City for the sectional championship. The two teams had battled to a pair of scoreless ties during the regular season. In the second overtime, Matt Chandler broke through with the decisive goal, lifting the Kahoks to a 1-0 victory, providing their first win over Granite City in 5 years.
Well, this game is now going into its 6th period, and there is not a fan that has left the seat as the Kahoks bring the ball into the attacking third. And immediately Matt Chandler, now Mike Darnell. Darnell cross. Now here's the shot. Takes it, lets it go. Shot, goal! The Kahoks win!
The momentum carried into the Super Sectional, where Collinsville stunned a strong Springfield High School 3-2, snapping the Senators' 22-game winning streak and punching their ticket to the state tournament. At the IHSA state tournament, the Kahoks dominated the quarterfinals with a 4-1 victory over Chicago's Brother Rice High School, then defeated Hoffman Estates 3-1 in the semifinals. The state championship game would be played against top-seeded St. Charles High School on its home field in frigid 26-degree weather with biting winds and a frozen pitch. Late in the third quarter, Steve Van Dyke took a pass from Matt Chandler and fired a perfectly placed shot between 2 defenders into the lower right corner of the net.
Van Dyke now puts it in the net! What a great shot! Steve Van Dyke, who has flirted with a goal all night long, in this instance is able to maneuver around 2 men and give Collinsville a 1-0 lead with 1:10 remaining in the third quarter.
The goal stood as the game winner, sealing the 1-0 win and the state championship. Steve Van Dyke, Mike Belandis, Brian Campbell, and Derek Cooper earned all tournament honors. The Kahoks finished the season 24-2-3, allowing only 13 goals all year. Anchored by All-State goalkeeper Mike Belandis, who recorded 18 shutouts, Collinsville's defense was among the best in the state. Offensively, Van Dyke led the way with 18 goals and 10 assists, earning All-State, All-Metro, and All-Midwest recognition. Chandler added 17 goals, while Kevin Kriedemeyer tallied a team-leading 14 assists. The 1991 championship marked the 3rd state soccer title in school history and solidified the Kahoks' standing as one of Illinois' premier soccer programs, a legacy built on resilience, teamwork, and excellence.
As a final comment, we look down the roster of these two clubs. You see a lot of underclassmen. These two teams could well be back here again next year.
Please welcome to the stage the 1991 CHS soccer team. And speaking on their behalf will be Steve Van Dyke. Coaches, managers, and players consisted of the following, many of them with more hair: Rick Artime, Kim Blyer Montgomery, Brett Borum, Mike Belandis, Gene Briggs, Tony Brown, Brian Campbell, Matt Chandler, Corey Cooper, Derek Cooper, Mike Darnell, Jason DiGirolamo, Nick Doctor, Sean Ellis, Tino Galvin, PJ Gregowitz, Josh Jenkins, Tad Kitchelinski, Stacy King, David Kirksey, Kevin Kriedemeyer, Andy Cosberg, Grant Ramsey, Brian Reeves, Chris Sandrowski, Kelly Stevens-Gaither, Steve Van Dyke, and Mike Verning. All right, we might have to do 2 rows. And then to speak on behalf of the team will be Mr. Steve Van Dyke, and Mr. Alex Dow will pose some questions to him from that season.
Let me adjust this. Is this okay? Most people that know me know I usually don't need one of these, so I'm gonna have to adjust to a microphone.
All right, you're in the hot seat, Steve. Are you ready?
Heck yes, I'm ready.
Okay, first question. After all these years, what is the fondest memory that your team has of that state championship season?
There are a few. One that sticks out in my mind, where's Matt Chandler? Wherever Matt Chandler is, that goal he scored against Grand City, if he doesn't score that goal, we don't win state. Only time we ever beat Grand City in our 4 years there. So that was a huge moment, huge moment. And he came from Granite City. He was an ex-Warrior, so that was even better.
There we have it.
But the fondest moment, obviously, is going to state, getting to state, not really knowing what to expect. All the experts picked us to finish 8th out of 8 teams, which was perfect. Then you get to the state final game, and the video alluded to it. You know, we're playing the best team in the state, ranked number 1. I think they were ranked in the country at the time. On their home field, all their fans, and to win that game and to celebrate, to lift that trophy on their field in front of their fans, and to see all the fans that we had there was unbelievable. It felt like Kahok Stadium North is what it felt like. So, you know, to all those people in the crowd that were there that night, thank you. To all of our parents, thank you. But it was an amazing experience, and I think one we will all cherish.
Wonderful. Fans make a big difference, don't they?
It's huge. It is huge. Absolutely.
So being the underdog, going in, ranked 8th out of 8 teams, maybe. When did you realize, maybe it was before the state tournament, when did you realize you could, in fact, go all the way and take the title? What moment?
So I think, you know, it's funny, this question, I fielded this to all the guys on the team, and the answers vary all over the place. Like me, I knew when we got Matt Chandler and Mike Verning our junior year, our senior year, we were gonna win state. That's what I knew. Those guys, adding those guys, helped a bunch. But I think really the telltale sign for our whole year was that Rockford tournament, going up and playing some state-ranked team in Chicago, and just, you know, pretty much dominating them the whole time. That's when we all knew that we could win state.
Wonderful. And then here we are 30 years later, we're at the Hall of Fame ceremony. As a Kahok, what does it mean to you and your team to be state champions as a Collinsville graduate?
Yeah, you know, it's, so I'm gonna tell a story. So in the 80s and 90s, my family owned a business on Main Street. Many of you might know it as High Towers Market from back in the day. Most of the rest of the world knows it as Friday South now. So we owned that business, and, you know, sports talk in there was like, here's how I would like, if you've seen the movie Coming to America, and you can picture the barbershop scenes, right, with all those old guys in the barbershop, that's what it was like in High Towers Market, man. And, you know, when I was growing up, before I got to high school, I kind of didn't pay attention to those guys, you know, I kind of tuned them out. There's old codgers talking, right? When I got to high school, I started paying more attention. And I come to realize 2 things. One, there are a lot of coaches in Collinsville, Illinois. A whole lot. But the other thing I realized talking to all those guys is the passion that they had for Collinsville sports, and the town itself. And, you know, that was a tremendous help. During our high school years, we moved from the football bowl, which not everyone remembers, but we transferred to the new stadium, like not so new no more. We transferred to the new stadium in a lot different environment, right? So we didn't really know what to expect from our fans. We used to pack the football bowl. And to look up at those stands that year, that senior year, and see those stands packed every night, because it's more than our parents. That's the town showing up. And then to see at state, those fans, I mean, we look at the bleachers, our fans tripled their fans, and it was on their field. So to have that in the community, the sense of pride for being a Kahok, and it travels. You know, when I lived in Texas, I would see people, and every once in a while I'd be wearing a Kahok shirt, or my daughters would, and they would see that and be like, holy crap, you're from Collinsville, Illinois. You know, so it does travel, and there is a sense of pride there. So, and man, what a great team. I couldn't have done it with a better group of brothers, for sure, 100%.
It's wonderful to have fans, and it's wonderful to make them proud. We're proud of you. Thank you. Give it up for the 1991 state championship Kahok soccer team. All right. A little nervous still. Our next inductee of the evening is an athletic inductee, Mr. Harry Parker.
Harry Parker graduated from Collinsville High School in 1965. He was a straight A student and multi-sport high school athlete. Harry was the starting forward on Collinsville's 1965 Illinois State Championship basketball team. He was a strong rebounder and had a very accurate jump shot. Teammate Dennis Pace remarked that Harry had a knack for always being in the right place at the right time and was constantly picking up his teammates. Under the leadership of legendary coach Virgil Fletcher, in addition to the state championship, the 65 Kahok basketball team had a 30-2 season and a 12-0 conference record. While Parker was an excellent basketball player, baseball was his first love. As a youngster, he threw so hard that the only person who could catch him was his younger brother, Tom. Eventually, Kahok teammates Bill Eckert and Dale Rednauer became his catchers. He played on the Collinsville High School and American Legion teams. High school teammate Otto Deck recounted that Harry Parker was one of the nicest, quietest guys you would ever meet, while still being the fiercest competitor who ever took the mound for Collinsville. After high school, Harry received a full scholarship to play baseball for the University of Illinois. Instead, he chose to begin his professional baseball career and pass on the scholarship. He was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals and began his minor league career. Parker spent several seasons in minor league baseball with a 69-54 record. He had a 3.31 ERA in the minors. Harry pitched for the Cardinals in 1970 and 71, for the New York Mets from 1973 to 1975, and for the Cleveland Indians in 1976. During his Major League Baseball career, he had a 15-21 record with a 3.85 ERA in 128 Major League appearances. His best season was with the 1973 Mets when they won the National League pennant. He was 8-4 with a 3.35 ERA and 63 strikeouts during the 73 season. He pitched once in the National League Championship Series and 3 times in the World Series that year.
Yet another pitcher, Harry Parker. And now Parker, a right-hander who has been in one game, pitched an inning, gave up 1 hit and no runs, is on for his second World Series appearance.
Shoulder problems prematurely ended his baseball career. After baseball, Parker completed a computer science degree at the University of Illinois. He joined the Texaco Oil Company, where he designed and installed many of their computer programs. He remained with Texaco until he retired.
And please welcome to the stage Harry's nephew, Mark, to accept the award on his behalf.
Thank you all for clapping for me. I happen to be a basketball referee, and I don't get applause too often. It's kind of nice. Clay, and don't let me fool you, or don't let him fool you. Those 2 kids were walking me up this aisle because they know I don't see so well. Clay says that to me all the time. Harry was my uncle. My dad, Jack, is the oldest. Harry was 10 years younger than my dad. Tom graduated in 68, was 13 years younger. And one of my best memories of Harry, my brother Kent and I were kids when Harry was in the big leagues. In 1973, I was 8 and Kent was 10. And Harry, we'd go to the ballpark, and Harry would give us baseballs. And they'd have, we'd get a ball, and he'd give us a bunch of baseballs. And they'd have Gibson, and they'd have Brock, and Shane Dees. And, we played with the Mets, so Willie Mays and Yogi Berra. I think you can see that's one of the baseballs that we got. And well, all the clean ones that we had with only one name, we loved them, but not for the signatures. We wanted to be big leaguers. So we're playing, my brother, actually, he was 10. It was his fault. He was older. He should have known better. But we would go out and play ball with these baseballs with Gibson and Willie Mays and everything. And so, you know, and I think eventually Harry caught on that we weren't collectors. But, you know, it is what it is. And that is the only one that we have left right now. And the reason why is because that's not a clean baseball. It's got all that writing on there. We didn't want to play with that one. So, you know, I appreciate everyone being here. I want to thank the committee for nominating Harry, and I want to congratulate all the other inductees. Lois, congratulations to you. You had to put up with me, actually, in a long time, and appreciate you. And again, thank the committee, thank everyone, and thank you all for being here to support Collinsville Unit 10. This is a great fundraiser, and don't forget the spaghetti dinner. Thank you all.
All right, thank you, Mark. Outstanding story. Okay, so hopefully we're all finished up with dinner, and so we're going to move on and thank our sponsors for the evening. So at the platinum sponsor level, thank you very much to Holland Construction and Richard and Missy Mark. At our gold sponsor level, we have Redmond Insurance. Our silver sponsors tonight are Deck & Varner Goosehead Insurance Agency, FGMA Architects, Visionary Wealth Advisors, Petroff Companies, Barry Wilson Funeral Home, Oates Associates, Train, JS Held, and CMC Rotary. And our bronze sponsor level is Pace Design and Construction, Scuba Duck Car Wash, Hurricanes, and Fairmont Park Casino and Racing. Additionally, we have sponsors who wish to remain anonymous. Please know that your donations make tonight as special as it is. So I certainly, and I know all of the committee and our sponsors, really appreciate your sponsorship. At everyone's table, you will also find a program for the evening, which celebrates each inductee. Each table contains information also regarding the Collinsville Area Community Foundation. So that was your third to do after spaghetti and Rotary Trivia with CACF. And their current initiatives benefiting students, facilities, and our communities. Please review, and we encourage everyone to make a contribution to a current initiative, create your own legacy, or consider donating a monetary amount on a monthly basis. Your generosity helps students and will better our communities. So please do take a moment to look over those donation opportunities for you, and of course, please take that program home with you. What a wonderful legacy of tonight. And with our sponsorships out of the way, we move on to the next portion of tonight, and we will welcome our next inductee of the evening. She is an athletic inductee, Mrs. Dina Wallace.
A 1984 graduate of Collinsville High School, Dina Wallace was the Kahok's first standout girls soccer player. Following an exemplary college career, she became a long-serving teacher and soccer coach in Collinsville Community Unit School District 10. Her senior year, Wallace played on the first ever girls soccer team at Collinsville High School. In that single season, she scored 26 goals in only 14 games and was voted MVP by her teammates. While she received multiple soccer scholarship offers, Wallace elected to stay close to home at Southern Illinois University Edwardsville. While at SIUE, she established records for career goals of 38 and career assists of 28. Dina had the most goals in one season with 16, the most goals in one game with 4, and the most career game-winning goals with 10, and was the first player to have more than 100 shots on goal in a season. In 1987, when Dina completed her SIUE soccer career, her name was on top of almost every single season and career record for Cougar women's soccer. She was the first women's soccer player inducted into the SIUE Hall of Fame in 2008. In addition to playing at SIUE, Wallace was named as an alternate to the first U.S. women's national soccer team, a team that took the top 22 players in the country. The following 2 years, she was named to the Olympic Festival teams, both for Houston, Texas, and Durham, North Carolina. Dina returned to Collinsville in 1993 to teach and coach soccer. She taught 5th grade at Caseyville Elementary for 11 years before moving to Doris Intermediate School where she remained until she retired after 32 years of teaching 5th grade. Wallace coached the Kahok girls soccer team for 18 seasons. During those seasons, she won 187 games and was responsible for establishing Kahok girls soccer as one of the best in Southern Illinois. She was named Coach of the Year in 2002. Her teams won numerous conference titles, regional championships in 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2003, and sectional titles in 2001 and 2002. Under her guidance, CHS girls soccer made state tournament appearances in 1998 and 2002. A lifelong Kahok, Wallace has left an enduring legacy as both an educator and a pioneer of girls soccer in Southern Illinois.
Please welcome Ms. Dina Wallace to the stage.
Wow, this is truly a great honor to be recognized here tonight. I want to start by thanking the committee for selecting me, my colleagues for nominating me, and my friends and family for supporting me all these years. It's been a great journey. Starting back in my senior year of high school, when I found out we were having a girls' soccer team, we were all so excited. Athletic Director Frank Patol said, well, I think we can do this year if you girls, you have to wear the boys' old JV uniforms. And then he's like, well, and I guess I can give you 6 old soccer balls. But we, you know, it just didn't matter. We didn't mind at all. We were going to be playing for the Kahawks. At that time, we were actually the only team on this side of the river. So we were going to be playing some tough Missouri teams. Again, didn't matter. We were playing for the Kahawks. My college years and summers at the Olympic festivals were truly amazing. I learned a lot from some of my coaches, including my SIU coach, Mike Kelly. He used to yell at us when we missed a shot on goal, which he yelled at me quite often. He said, "It's a gift," and he'd hold up his fist and he'd pound and his face would turn all red, and he's like, "It's a gift, put a ribbon on it," you know. But, you know, things like that is just what you remember. Being a part of those Olympic festivals, the opening ceremonies, walking in the stadiums, people chanting USA, staying at Duke and Rice and LSU thinking, wow, this is unbelievable. Playing against the best players in the U.S. at the time. Mia Hamm, she was a youngster in camp, but yep, she was there. Michelle Akers, as just a few. These were all just incredible experiences that I will never forget. Coaching and teaching. Well, as we all know, there's many of you in here, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but when you see those outcomes, it's totally worth it. During my coaching years, my most memorable, and also my first win as a head coach, was against Gene Baker. And I saw this picture when you were showing the other, when you were showing the soccer. He was from Granite City. This man coached for decades, and he's very successful. We played at Kahok Stadium, and we beat him 2-1. Pretty much rained the whole game, but it was just one of those that I will never forget. My 98 and 02 teams were truly amazing teams to coach. These teams were made up of just great athletes that had dedication, and they played as a team. They made it easy for me, and those 2 trips to state were a lot of fun. The teams up there, they were pretty tough. They were tough. And I just have to say one thing, they certainly grow them big in Chicago. Coaching for CHS was truly a great honor, where I could share my knowledge and experiences that I gained from playing soccer all those years. And it was great to be back. Because once a Kahawk, always a Kahawk. Teaching, it's very rewarding, especially when your former students come back to see you. I had a student come back to tell me he was heading to college. This young man was one of those kids in 5th grade. He pushed the limits, put it that way, and he only worked hard when I asked him to. And I was kind of surprised, but very elated when he told me that he was going away to college. He was so excited. Other great memories are when you're out and you see your former students with their children and how happy they are to see you, and they share stories with you from the past. You know, it's only happened to me just a couple times. I've taught some incredible students, and I know they have gone on to become successful people, and I'm very proud of them. Again, it is truly an honor and a privilege to be here tonight amongst the class of 2026 Hall of Fame. This night will also be one of those truly memorable experiences that I will never forget. Thank you all very much.
Well deserved, and congratulations, Dina. Our next inductee for the evening, distinguished inductee, Colonel Olin Gilbert.
Colonel Olin Gilbert graduated from Collinsville Township High School in 1934 and continued his studies at Washington University in St. Louis and the University of Alabama, majoring in chemistry with the intention of studying medicine. Fate had another plan for Olin Gilbert. From an early age, he had an interest in aviation. By the age of 20, he earned his commercial pilot's license. In April 1941, he entered active military service from the Officers Reserve Corps as a second lieutenant, having already logged approximately 1,200 flight hours. A succession of assignments followed. At Sherman Field, Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, Gilbert held roles ranging from pilot to engineering officer. He was selected for the Command and General Staff School, graduating in 1942. Next, he studied at the Army Air Force's School of Applied Tactics in Orlando, Florida. In early 1943, then Captain Gilbert joined the 327th Fighter Group at Richmond, Virginia as a squadron commander, flying P-40 Warhawks before switching to P-47 Thunderbolts. In July, after being promoted to major, he transferred to the 365th Fighter Group in Dover, Delaware as Group Executive Officer. As World War II continued, volunteers were sought to serve as squadron commanders in the European Theater of Operations. Gilbert volunteered and by November 1943 had transferred to the European Theater to join the 83rd Fighter Squadron of the 78th Fighter Group as a spare pilot flying wing position. After 10 missions, he began leading the group missions, was appointed commanding officer, and was promoted to lieutenant colonel in July 1944. He reportedly flew every mission he was permitted to fly after D-Day. On August 28, 1944, Gilbert's aircraft was hit by enemy fire, and his engine stopped working over occupied Belgium. He made a forced landing in a small field and was observed heading for a nearby farmhouse with local residents helping him dispose of his flying equipment. He was hidden from German troops and eventually reunited with U.S. ground troops. He returned to the 78th Fighter Group on September 12, 1944, and was given leave to return home before continuing his combat career. Olin Gilbert was a World War II flying ace credited with the destruction of 11.5 Nazi aircraft. He flew a wide variety of planes, including the P-38 Lightning, the F-86 Sabre, and a P-51 Mustang he named the Annihilator after his wife Anne. He retired as a colonel after the Vietnam War, having logged over 5,800 flight hours. The story of his years in the European theater is chronicled online by the American Air Museum in Britain. Colonel Olin Gilbert was a member of the Escape and Evasion Society, the Quiet Birdmen, and Dedalian. His honors include the Silver Star, Distinguished Flying Cross with 2 oak leaf clusters, Purple Heart, Army Commendation Medal, Presidential Unit Citation, 3 Overseas Service Bars, American Defense Service Medal, European African Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, American Campaign Medal, and World War II Victory Medal.
This is not Colonel Gilbert coming to the stage. Very impressive. Unfortunately, Colonel Gilbert's family couldn't be here to accept the award, so instead, I am pleased to introduce my dad, Steve McFall, to accept the award and say a few words.
The Gilbert family's not here tonight because they were on a plane flying here to be with us tonight, and his son, Greg, had a heart attack on the plane, and they stopped in Phoenix. He was taken to the hospital. He is now recovering and on the way home, but they have sent their regrets, and I am truly sorry they're not here, because I am. Anyway, it is good to be here with you tonight, and I do want to thank you for doing this and for all of you being here, but I want to say this. 2 years ago, I was standing in the Collinsville Museum with Mary Sue Shusky, and if you haven't been to the Collinsville Museum, you're really missing out. It is a terrific place. As we were standing there, she said to me, "Do you know that we have a World War II fighter ace that graduated from Collinsville High School?" And I said I didn't. She took me over to the exhibit, and I looked at it for a while, and I took it back to our committee, at which time Vicki Rulicki and Mark Albers began to do the research, the hard work. My job was simply to contact the Gilbert family, which turned out to be a little more difficult than we thought it would be. But about 2 months ago, I was able to contact them, and as I talked to them, I realized the love, the joy, and the respect they had for the patriarch of their family. Olin Gilbert was a remarkable man. He was shot down twice over Belgium. Both times he walked out of Belgium, walked back to his corps, crawled in another plane, and went back to the fight. Olin Gilbert was a truly magnificently brave man. He was a man who got in his plane and flew to the gunfire. It is my pleasure to accept this for him tonight. We'll be mailing his award to California in the next few days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. Those were wonderful comments and a tribute to Colonel Gilbert, and what an impressive man indeed. Next up tonight, we have another incredible inductee. He is a distinguished inductee, Mr. Franklin Kreider.
This is Kenneth Buell of the class of 1953, introducing the Collinsville High School Band, the Collinsville School Song, Indian Trail.
Franklin C. Prof. Kreider, Collinsville's first high school band music program director, was born in Collinsville in 1895, the son of a coal miner. Kreider received his first violin at age 7, a gift his parents purchased at Sears Roebuck. At the age of 9, he began taking violin lessons from Henry DeWald, who had a local 12-piece band and gave violin lessons in his barbershop on Main Street. Kreider continued to study violin with various instructors, including Billy Oberkircher, violinist with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Franklin Kreider did not graduate from Collinsville Township High School. During his senior year, he was asked to teach violin to about 55 students in Highland, Illinois. He left school, rented a studio, and taught violin. Students traveled up to 30 miles by train for lessons. By 1915, Mr. Kreider was directing his own band in Collinsville. In 1917, when Miners Theater opened, Kreider led a 7-piece orchestra that provided background music for silent movies. Mr. Kreider was leading a youth band for the Collinsville Yeoman Lodge when he was approached by CTHS principal Joseph Snodgrass about starting a music curriculum at the high school. Kreider agreed, and the CTHS band was officially organized on September 29, 1930, with 41 students under the baton of Franklin Kreider. Kreider attended the National Music Camp in Interlaken, Michigan, to learn more about bands. There, he met Dr. A. Harding, first director of bands at the University of Illinois, who would become the person that influenced him most. Prof. Kreider developed the CTHS band into one of the finest high school concert bands in the country. The pinnacle of success came in 1938, 1939, and 1940, when Collinsville won the National Band Contest for 3 years in a row. The following year, Collinsville was ruled ineligible to compete for 5 years due to its dominance in the competition. Kreider played for the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and the St. Louis Philharmonic Orchestra. He also directed many local bands, including the Collinsville Municipal Band. In 1947, he was presented with the Chamber of Commerce First Citizen of Collinsville Award. In 1955, Kreider was the first high school band director to be elected to membership in the prestigious American Bandmasters Association. Mr. Kreider served on the ABA Board of Directors in 1957 and 58. He was also named SIU Honored Musician of 1963 and was inducted as a charter member of the Bandmasters Hall of Fame at Northwestern University in 1984. Franklin Prof. Kreider retired from his role as director of bands at Collinsville High School in 1962. In 1985, the auditorium at Webster Elementary School was renamed in his honor.
And accepting on Mr. Kreider's behalf tonight is Terry Van. Please welcome Terry Van to the stage. And thank you, Terry, for speaking on behalf of Prof. Kreider. I remember, and this is one of my favorite things about this event, I'm a grade school kid and going to Kreider Auditorium at Webster for one of our things from Jefferson or wherever, and thinking, Kreider, who's this guy, you know? And to be able to learn all of those names through tonight is just such an honor. And so, Terry, thank you very much for speaking on behalf of Mr. Kreider.
Thank you. My wife, Leilana, I made sure she came up with me because she actually had a lot more contact with him than I did. When Bobby Wright came up and asked if we would accept this for Professor Kreider and his family, we couldn't find anybody, no family, no other band directors that had been around when he was directing that could accept for him directly, okay? And so we both had a chance to perform underneath his direction in some Madison County band events and stuff like that where we were to get, she was from Edwardsville, I was from another school which will remain unmentioned tonight because of the soccer teams. I had a chance to work with him also as a college. He retired in '62. I graduated from high school in '64, and his best buddy was my high school band director. And so we had a chance to have some contact with him that way, and he gave me some good counseling as I was beginning my career as a teacher. But at that time, the best high school bands in the state south of Chicago were right here in Madison County. One of them was Edwardsville, where my wife's father was the director. The other one was Granite City, where I went. Sorry, guys. But I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. And then the Collinsville band. The three of these directors had, top quality bands all the time. And unfortunately, when I did my senior recital at SIUE in order to be able to graduate, guess who was sitting there in the back row, but I knew they were there. The directors from Edwardsville High School, Granite City High School, and Collinsville. He was a great help for me on a lot of different things. And to this day, many of our people sitting out here who don't even know it, like Mr. Wright, have gotten the benefit of some of the things I learned from him, okay? My reason I had my wife come up is since her dad was a band director at Edwardsville, after World War II, he restarted the bands in Edwardsville, and Prof. Kreider kind of took him under wing and helped him get going. And they used to have Madison County band directors meetings in their own individual homes at that point in time. And so he was in her home and she was growing up. She didn't know him as anything special. He was just, Prof. Kreider. He was more of a father figure and friend, kind of a grand. So you got to say it. Here.
entire time that I knew him, and it was over Collinsville. You guys always painted our tiger purple, and I took that as a great disagreement, okay? And I would say to him when he would come to my house and was sitting there eating, you tell those Collinsville guys to leave my tiger alone. Oh, we got even now. Sometimes we got paint on your Indian.
And by the way, speaking about soccer, I just got to throw this in there. I graduated in '64, so I was way ahead of when they were there. We tried to get them to start soccer in Granite City, and they wouldn't do it. They said, no, you got to join, play football and hurt somebody. We said, no, that's not what we're doing. True, that's the exact words that we used. And I said, that's it, and that was the end of my soccer career. So anyway, we are going to talk to the high school and junior high, middle school. I just dated myself, didn't I? Middle school directors and see when it will be an appropriate time to present the award to the band program at some of their concerts, okay? So.
Give it back to you. I thought you keep it purple and orange and black.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Van, and thank you. Perhaps the award could make a guest appearance at the spaghetti dinner.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Van, and thank you, Mark, for that. I want to repeat, it's an honor to be up here, and right now it's an extreme honor to announce our next inductee of the evening, an athletic inductee, someone who was taken way too early, but is an absolute legend and still making an impact in this community, Corey Wilson.
Corey Wilson, a 2000 graduate of Collinsville High School, was known for being an outstanding athlete, leader, and individual. As a three-sport letterman at CHS, Corey was a standout athlete, particularly on the football field, where he helped lead the Kahawks to a school record number of wins. Former Kahawk athletic director Bob Bones said of Corey, "When Corey Wilson was on the football field, you never had to look for him, just find the ball and you'd find Corey." During his junior season, the Kahawks were 8-0 before falling to Edwardsville 7-6 in the final game of the regular season, which was played in front of 6,000 fans. As a senior, Wilson rushed for 496 yards, but was at his best on defense, where he averaged nearly 15 tackles per game, including an incredible 24 tackles against Edwardsville. By the time his high school career ended, Corey had earned first-team All-Conference, All-Area, and Class 5A Illinois High School Football Coaches Association All-State honors. Wilson accepted a football scholarship to McHenry College, where he was a defensive lineman, then a linebacker for the Bearcats. He was a four-year letterman and a starter on 4 teams that reached the NAIA postseason. He set numerous school records for tackles and was an integral part of the defensive unit that led the team to the NAIA playoff semifinals in 2002. Corey was a 2-time All-Conference honoree in the Mid-States Football Association Midwest League, earning first-team accolades in 2003 and second-team mention in 2002. He earned second-team NAIA All-America honors after setting a school record 98 tackles as a senior. Wilson was inducted into the McHenry Hall of Fame in 2011. In remembering Corey Wilson as a player, McHenry's head football coach Carl Pelker said, "The biggest thing about Corey is that everyone liked him, and I mean everyone. The second thing is that you never saw Corey have a bad day. To him, every day was a great one. Every day was great to be alive. When he competed, he had fun. It was a great mix of things that made Corey an excellent football player, an excellent person, and a great leader." Before graduating from McHenry in 2005, Corey served as a student coach on the Bearcats staff. He returned to football as a multi-year volunteer coach for Kahok football. In 2010, at age 27, Corey Wilson tragically lost his life in a workplace shooting. However, his memory lives on, and his devotion to football and the Kahawks continues through the Corey Wilson Scholarship Association, founded in his honor. To date, the organization has awarded more than $220,000 in scholarships and donations to students and families in need.
The coolest guy and an absolute legend. And coming to accept on his behalf his sister Adrienne, who is an absolute legend too, carrying on his legacy. Thank you.
Okay. Wow, what an impressive career my brother had. It truly summed up his dedication to excellence. With that being said, it is our great honor to accept this induction into the Collinsville High School Hall of Fame on Corey's behalf. While he's no longer with us, we know without a doubt how deeply this recognition would have meant. Football was never just a game to Corey. It was a source of pride, discipline, and lifelong connection. To be remembered and honored by this school, this program, and this community would have filled him with immense gratitude. Being a Kahawk taught Corey to believe in hard work, teamwork, sacrifice, and commitment. These attributes had a lifelong impact as he lived every day by showing up, leading, persevering, and respecting others. When we asked one of Corey's closest friends and former college teammate about Corey, Mark Larson had this to say. Corey's character was unshakable. He was always poised and ready for whatever came his way, no matter how simple or complex. He moved with dedicated purpose and meaning for the ones he cared about and the ideas he believed in. He was unique in the fact that he spoke his mind and didn't waver when it would have been easier to do so. He always proceeded forward with grace and respect. His larger-than-life personality made others gravitate towards him. And once you learned his core beliefs, it made you love him even more. He was fiercely devoted to his family and defended them, but with teddy bear grace. Corey was simply the best. On behalf of Corey, we want to thank the coaches who gave their time, guidance, and belief, the teammates who became brothers and family, and the school and community who supported the program year after year. These relationships and memories were treasured long after the final game was played. We would also like to thank the Hall of Fame committee, and a special thank you to Coach Bone and his son BJ for ensuring that Corey's legacy is not forgotten. This honor serves as a reminder that what happens on the field can echo far beyond high school, far beyond football, and far beyond a lifetime. Last but not least, if my brother were standing here, he'd want to thank our mom and Matt for signing him up for Raiders football, and even more for their unconditional love and support. To any current players and future athletes, know that the way you play the game matters. The character you build here will stay with you forever. Corey is proof of that. While Corey cannot stand here tonight, his legacy stands strong through the lives he touched and through the continued support of the Corey Wilson Scholarship Association. Thank you for remembering Corey, the one and only monster in the middle. Thank you for this incredible recognition. Once a Kahok, always a Kahok. Also to Mark Lois, the Corey Wilson Scholarship Association. June 6th, we have a golf scramble. We give scholarships back to the Kahawks, so come support us. Thank you, guys.
Our next inductee for the evening is Mr. Roger Bonensteel.
A 1964 graduate of Collinsville High School, Roger Bonensteel is among an elite group of players who helped shape the tradition of Kahawk basketball in the early 1960s. Bonensteel was a varsity starter his sophomore, junior, and senior years. He was named to the IHSA All-State teams in 1962, 63, and 64, and was selected as a 1964 All-American. Playing under the direction of legendary coach Virgil Fletcher, Bone and Steel helped the Kahawks compile a 62 home game winning streak and a 37 game winning streak in the Southwestern Conference. Both team records stand today. He still holds individual records for best shooting percentage in a season of .688 during the 1963-64 season, and for his career from 1962 to 1964 of .664. Over his 3 years as a varsity starter, Bone and Steel's teams had a combined record of 84 wins and 9 losses, with an almost perfect record of 35-1 in Southwestern Conference play. He is tied for 5th place on Kahok basketball's all-time scoring list with 1,743 career points. He averaged 21 points per game during his career and is 2nd in field goal average and 7th in defensive rebounds as a Kahawk. Bone and Steel's record-setting ways continued at the University of Kansas. As team captain, he led the Jayhawks to the National Invitational Tournament in 1967-68, where they made it to the title game.
42. Here is Roger Bonensteel with a turnaround jump shot at 18. Here's Roger Bonensteel working against Stanley.
Bone and Steel earned all Big 8 honors in his junior and senior seasons. Roger Bone and Steel was drafted by the New York Knicks and played with the Pittsburgh Pipers of the American Basketball Association. After his playing days, he poured his passion for sports into teaching and coaching. He spent most of his career instructing PE and driver's education while coaching football, track, golf, and basketball. His coaching journey took him to Kankakee, Rich East, Bradley Bourbonnais, and Rich South High Schools. He earned Coach of the Year honors from Rich South High School before retiring in 2002. In 1973, Roger Bonensteel was honored as an inaugural inductee into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame, an enduring tribute to his remarkable impact on the sport. Through all the accolades, Roger credits his success to hard work. He used to get to the gym keys from Coach Fletcher so he could put in extra hours on weekends and in the summer, sometimes with teammates and occasionally on his own. Reflecting on his years in Collinsville, Bone and Steel has said, "I was able to accomplish what I did because of all my coaches and my teammates. We made each other better."
And please help me extend a welcome to the legend himself, Roger Bonensteel, to the stage.
I'd like to thank Stacy and the committee for inducting me into prestigious Hall of Fame. And I know there's a lot of work and effort that goes into put something like this on as being a coach. So thank you again. I have with me this evening my wife of 55 years and my son Mike and our daughter Kate, and we have 6 beautiful grandchildren that are all very talented. And I'd like to start by saying kind of how I got started, okay? We lived east of Collinsville, the country. Moved to the city when I was 12, and that was the first time I had been introduced to a basketball or even knew what it was. So in the junior high, Webster, as I remember, they had a good 7th grade team, and I got to play in PE with them. So when it came around to the 8th grade, they said, "Why don't you try out for the team?" And I said, "Oh, okay, sounds like fun." So I tried out. I thought I had great practice. Didn't miss a shot. I can still remember. Worked hard. So the next day, looked up. My name wasn't on the list. I said, "Oh, okay, fine with me." So I played in the summer. I mean, in the winter. And then I became a freshman, 5'11", 140 pounds, just a massive person. We played a lot of basketball and PE too. So one day I was leaving the gym, and Coach Fletcher said, "Roger, come over here." So I went over and I said, "Coach, what's up?" He says, "You're coming out for basketball, right?" I said, "No." He said, "No?" I said, "No." He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, Coach, I was cut once, I'm not getting cut again." So he says, I think you'll like it. You won't get cut. And the way he said that kind of struck me kind of funny. So I thought, I might try it. So I tried it. I did. I liked it. I didn't like it. I loved it. It was fun. It wasn't work. So, excuse me. I made the freshman team. I played a little bit of JV, in fact. And then as a sophomore, I was on the varsity. I couldn't believe it. Here I am, a sophomore. Of course, we lost the whole 1961 championship team, or most of them. So I played quite a bit. So Coach Fletcher was kind of a different guy. He was very simple. We called it, this thing he used is the KISS system. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay? So his offense is very simple. 1-2-2, set screens, defense, press all the time, on the point. And it was very successful, obviously. So one day as freshmen, we sat on the stage and watched the varsity practice. This was a 61 team. And they were having a horrendous time. They couldn't shoot. The ball wouldn't go in. They were making mistakes. You could see Coach shaking his head, and finally he said, stop. So they stopped. He said, Bogey ready, 6'6", 210. Go in the janitorial closet and get that tall ladder. Oh, everybody said, what's going on here? The Bogey goes there, he comes out and he says, put it under that basket. And climb up that basket and go down the ladder and go down through the basket. Bogey said, really, Coach? Coach says, yeah. Just that way. He said, yeah. So Bogey climbs down through the basket. Of course, his shorts and his shirt are up around his neck, but he made it through. And everybody's looking, holy cow. He says, now why can't you put this little ball through that big hole? And it was amazing. It was like, oh my gosh, yes. And they didn't miss a basket. He went from a negative, what was happening, to a positive. And he did that. He had many things that he did like that. Not only he got me started in basketball, but believed in me and what I could do, but we had people on the team that were supportive of me. Jerry Sulky was our leader, without question. Played the point, worked hard, played the point on defense. He was a big motivator for me and my teammates too, which made me the player that I was. Okay? And lastly, like I said on the film, you heard the adage, you get out of what you put into it. Well, I put 3 summers into it. 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd go to Coach's house, pick up the key, stay there till noon. Some days, players would come in and play. Other days, I would be there by myself, working on things that Coach wanted me to work on and things that I thought I could get me better. So all of those 3 things helped me to become the player that I was and the awards that I was. It allowed me to go from a Collinsville Kahok to a Kansas Jayhawk, where I, again, was successful because of coaches that were there. Our head coach, Ted Goins, and of course, Sam Miranda, the assistant coach, who's from Collinsville. He recruited me, and Sam was like a father to me. He made sure I was on track all the time to graduate from Kansas and to play hard. And without those people and the people pushing me and believing in me, I would have never been as successful as I was. So I thank the committee for inducting me into College Basketball Hall of Fame, and it really, to me, is a big honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Wonderful lessons. Incredible career. Thank you. Okay, and our last inductee of the evening is a distinguished inductee, Mr. Pat Gown.
Patrick Gown graduated from Collinsville High School in 1968. During his years at CHS, he worked on the student newspaper, the Morning Bulletin staff, and twice reached the Illinois State Finals on the debate team. Those experiences led to the career path Pat would choose to follow.
We put together a debate team that in our 3 years in high school, we went to the state finals, we went through regional sectionals to state finals, our second and third years both. Didn't win the state, but got to state both times. And we were very proud of that. And it taught me a lot about critical thinking, about seeing multiple sides of an issue, about being able to present arguments sometimes that you might not agree with, and sort of gave me a desire to use that somehow. At the same time, I applied to the high school newspaper. First year I applied, I was rejected. Second year I applied, I was rejected. Third year I applied, I was accepted. My friend Karen Earhart was the editor and actually kind of recruited me. And I wasn't really interested in journalism as a career, but it's fun.
Following graduation, Pat studied at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. At SIUE, he became a student journalist for the campus student newspaper, The Alestle. He wrote for the paper from 1968 to 1970 and became The Alestle's managing editor in his second year on staff. In 1969, while still a college student, Gown applied for a job at the Collinsville Herald. Carl Monroe, editor, president, and publisher of the Herald, decided to hire Pat as a part-time reporter. In 1970, Gown was also assigned to the role of full-time photographer for the Herald. Pat went on to spend 8 years honing his craft at the Collinsville newspaper. This experience would mark the beginning of his professional career as a reporter, photographer, columnist, and editor. Gown left the Collinsville Herald in 1978 to become a reporter for the St. Louis Globe-Democrat, rising to become its managing editor in 1984. In 1985, Pat moved to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, where he worked as a reporter, columnist, and political correspondent for 32 years. He also served as the editor of the Public Safety Reporters, who specialized in covering police, courts, fire rescue, disasters, and personal safety issues. Pat's final column appeared in the Post-Dispatch in 2018. In addition to his long career as a newspaperman, Pat was a columnist for the University of Illinois political magazine, Illinois Issues. He also appeared weekly on a cable TV regional public affairs show called Metro Talk, edited books for various authors, and taught a journalism class at Washington University for 10 years. Journalism provided experiences for Gown that ranged from lunch with a president in the White House to witnessing an execution. He piloted a Goodyear blimp and flew at 7 Gs in a combat aircraft. He covered national political conventions, moderated political debates, and spent 7 months riding with a St. Louis Fire Department heavy rescue squad for a magazine story. His work at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch earned him a Pulitzer Prize nomination. He has won various awards from the Illinois Press Association, United Press International, the Illinois State Medical Society, the Missouri Association for Social Welfare, the Bar Association Magazine of Metropolitan St. Louis, and more.
Please welcome to the stage Mr. Pat Gown. And I may be personally biased, but I think Collinsville High School has a particularly impressive pedigree of journalists in its career. And Pat, I certainly welcome you to the Hall of Fame as part of that tradition.
Good evening. I had a problem trying to decide how to begin my talk tonight. I had an idea, and I put it by my relatives who occupy table 38, hoping to get some insight. They said, how do you want to start it? I said, I want to start it by saying 2 and 18 years ago, Collinsville High School set forth on this continent a new graduate. The opinion was unanimous. So, thank you and good evening. There are many deserving candidates for this, some chosen already and many to come. I am truly, truly proud and humbled to be considered among these people. I was taught well at CHS, math, science, English, history. I am grateful to the great teachers and administrators who worked hard to set me on the course of a great life. But I'd like to reminisce with you tonight for a couple of minutes about a high school education that did not come from lectures or books or labs. I'm talking about the social transition that had no curriculum, but accepted us as adolescents and delivered us as fledgling adults. High school was the backdrop of experiences and observations that played as great a role in my development as the academic core. School-sponsored clubs and dances and sports and music programs provided some of the fuel, but each of us was set loose to find our own fire. Mine turned out to be journalism. Of thousands of news stories I wrote through a career, the first was at the CHS Kahok. As sports and music and scholastic competitors, we felt the thrill of victory, but also the sting of defeat, character builders both. It was the place where I learned to interact and compromise with people who were different from me, people with their own ideas, making friends with folks whose opinions I might have ignored until my brain was ready to accept the differences. My juvenile jealousy over others having more than I was quickly quelled by the realization that so many had so much less. I rubbed elbows with kids in designer shirts and some with faded hand-me-downs. Some could afford to buy lunch, some could not. Some were beloved, some were bullied, some were both. I was forced to face the idea that my idyllic television favorites, like Father Knows Best and Leave It to Beaver, weren't really true, and that real life was terribly complicated and often very unfair. Managing our raw emotions about, well, everything, required discipline mastered in the crucible of high school. We learned it was not awkward for boys and girls to be friends. On the romantic side, probably a majority of us had our first date in high school, first kiss. Loves blossomed and wilted, helping prepare us for the more challenging courtships to come. We suffered and caused heartbreak on a wholesale level. We owe CHS for more than a classroom education. It was the canvas on which we painted early pictures of our hopes and aspirations. For a lucky few of us, it was a lot more. I met Karen Earhart on the debate team when we were sophomores in high school, and we became friends. 2 decades later, we became much more. She has been my wife and the light of my life for almost 35 years. You can find her back over at table 38. And she is why I have to tell you that this award tonight will be the second best thing from Collinsville High School that I'm taking home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gowan. I've had war heroes, award-winning journalists, legendary athletes, and every year that I come here, I'm just inspired and I'm fed emotionally and spiritually, and it's so cool to see these stories and hear them firsthand, and I'm just so glad and honored to be a part of it. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We're wrapping up. What do we think? Huh? I want to remind the inductees that there's going to be photos in the hallway outside after the ceremony, so make your way over there as soon as you can. You might get stopped and ask some questions, and that's fine. You can mark your calendars for next year. The Hall of Fame and induction ceremony in 2027 will be February 18th. Go ahead and get your calendars out. I know you guys have them. And nominations for the next class will be open on June 1st of this year. In addition, all the videos from this evening will be posted. They will be at the Hall of Fame area at CHS, as well as on the district website, and the YouTube channel, and the district website within a few days. I want to thank everybody for coming here again tonight, just seeing all the legends that have come before us and the legends that are in this room. And it just inspires me, because I think that Collinsville can be the best place, and I'm going to quote our city manager who's in here, who told me that his goal is to make this the best city to live in, to work in, and to visit. And so I think we can do that with everybody that's come through. Mark, anything to add? All right. Let's give it up one more time for our inductees and everybody that made this night possible. Thank you.